Okay, so here at the LGT, just about to kick off before the first game. Everyone is, well, I think pretty much everyone is here. So I'm facing Gene Stealer Cults first and Tyranids. So let's see how I get on. But just want to say really cool on the mats and terrain and stuff. Like, they've got a battle map for every table. The terrain's decent. So, and I want to say that the organisation has been really good so far. But see you soon.
Hello and welcome to another video from BFS Wargaming. It's Patrick here, and I am here to tell you about my experience at the LGT, the London Grand Tournament ITC event. So you would have seen my little intro video from when I got to the event, and I'm going to go through all the games, but first I've got another little video to put up, a little cut in. So here's me finding Neil. Neil is one of the guys that when I first got back into Warhammer 40k, I played him quite a lot at the beginning. He's now lives in London. I live out about an hour east of London, so we don't get to play much anymore, so it was really nice to catch up with him. And here's what we talked about. So we'll see you back in a second.
So here with Neil, found him, and so what have you got? Got you playing first game?
First game, triple Tyrannus Crusaders, so get up 3 CP is it?
Oh, and then, lovely.
But that's not what I'm going to be vecting, to be honest. It's going to be the 1 CP to play on top bracket.
Oh, okay, yeah,
So,
yeah, that's
a
huge.
knight potentially come around with 3 wounds ain't going to do much.
Yeah. And he says vecting, he means Gene Stealer Cult.
Yeah, sorry guys. Yeah, Gene Stealer Cult.
He's playing. You're playing the cult, full cult.
Yes, I am. Yeah.
Yeah, you've got a lot of bikes and acolytes and flamers.
Oh, yeah. So I've got 3 detachments. One 4-eyed Emperor, Patriarch, Primus, Icon Ward, 3 acolytes, Nexus for CP farming, and a Kelamorph. It's the first battalion. Second battalion is Rusted Claw. So I've gone for the Magus and another Patriarch because they just wreck face.
Yeah.
Also got a screen killing unit of acolytes, just hand flamers.
Yeah.
Just drop them down. If there are any screens left after turn 1, get rid of them.
Yeah.
And then 2 Brood Brothers just to fill out the battalion, and then another Kelamorph.
Nice.
And so that's the nice part of the battalion.
Yeah.
Then I've got 3 Rusted Claw Acolyte Jackal bikes.
Oh yeah.
So I've got 2 sets of 9 with shotguns, cultist knives. They're just ground control, take over the board,
Yeah.
prevent movement, and just be a general pest.
Yeah.
And then I've got a hard-hitting 10-man bike squad with a quad, all with demolition charges. So they're
Demo
just gonna
charges, nice.
hopefully wreck face on the knights.
Yeah.
But you know, I've got plenty to deal with them anyway.
Lots of tricks.
Yeah, exactly. And then the last last detachment is a spearhead.
Yeah.
Tank commander, battle cannon, plasma cannons, and las cannon. So it's a versatile little unit. Can kill screens, but also can do damage to big stuff. And then 3 mortar squads, standard, and then Vulture. So
we puts out a lot. Got twin Punisher cannon on the Vulture.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
puts
with
out a lot
you know, the
lot of DACA.
first turn 1 charge being FAQ'd.
Yeah.
I thought, do you know what? I need something just to clear screens on turn 1.
Yeah.
And then I have to start going to work.
Yeah,
turn
definitely.
2, 3, 4.
We'll
So,
talk about the ruling. I will speak to you about the ruling afterwards, about the charges and stuff, because it was a bit contentious. But
Yeah.
what do you think of so far? What do you think of the event and how it's set up and everything, organisation?
Well, I heard the horror stories from last year. You
Yeah.
know, space and stuff, and this appears to be a much better venue. The people I've spoken to, really happy. You know, it's big, open, wide space. There are a few sweaty people here, but I'm sure I'll be sweating myself.
Yeah.
But at least you won't be smelling them.
But the organisation seems good. I mean, I emailed Zach, he replied really quick.
Yeah, I
stuff
couldn't
like
believe
that.
it. You know,
and the battle, they've all got battle mat on every table. I thought that was really good. You know, they've actually got a proper mouse mat, battle mat on every table, which I thought was really cool.
It's tasty. It's, you know, I think they've learned a lot from the mistakes last year.
Yeah.
But you know, there's some top players here, so a few YouTube celebrities.
Yeah, there is, yeah.
Including this one here. Other than that, yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. You know, I'll be happy if I go with 2 wins over the weekend. That'd be amazing.
I'd be happy with that as well. I think you've got more chance than I have, but we'll see. We're going to catch up. I'm going to catch up with Neil at the end of the day and then see how he's got on and see how I've got on, and then we'll come back
to turn 1, game 1.
What I think the score's going to be.
Yeah.
What on my game?
Yeah.
I think it's going to be close. I reckon I'm going to beat him by about 2 points, and it'll be in the early 20s.
So I prayed to the dice gods this morning. I'm hoping for a decent late 20s, 30 point to 15 win.
Yeah.
Hopefully I can get rid of his screens turn 1, kill his Punisher tank commanders.
Yeah.
That's what's going to hurt me, and then just run around the table, pissing off the knights and just hitting them a few mortal wounds.
Get rid of them.
Knocking them down a few. Yeah, so look forward to it. It's going to be a great event, and we'll
soon. Speak to you later.
Okay, welcome back. So you've heard what Neil said and our predictions on the first game. So the first game, if you watch my pre-LGT, I think I did tell you the list of who I played. I will go through my list first quickly. So I had a captain on bike with Storm Shield and Thunderhammer. I had a librarian on bike. He took in pretty much every game. He took Null Zone and Might of Heroes. Had 3 units of Intercessors, 1 unit of 5, 2 units of 5, 1 unit of 6, all with assault. The assault bolters, and I had 2 units of 2 attack bikes with all with multi melters. I had 2 repulsors, and that was that. And then I had 3 tactical Invicta war suits and a Khan on bike. So that pretty much. Oh, and I had 3 eliminators as well. Sorry, that's the thing I was forgetting. 3 eliminators with the sniper rifles. So that was my list. So I went into the first game up against Gene City Cult and Tyranids. So the Tyranids part had Swarmlord, Hive Tyrant, Malanthrope with 2 units of 20 Gene Stealers, all Kraken, and he had 3 Ripper Swarms, and then he had got it here. He also had Rusty Claw. So he had Magnus, Patriarch, 3 units of 10 Brew Brothers or 9 Brew Brothers with the mortar teams in each, Kellamorph, and then 10 of the 8 bikes, Outland bikes, the Jackals, and 2 quads, and he had 5 demo charges in them. So the guy who was general in that list name was Daniel van der Berg. Really nice guy. Really friendly, good game. I hadn't used chest locks going that much into the tournament. I'd used them like twice previously, so I was a little bit inexperienced with them. Daniel was great though. He had a chest lock with him, and for anyone that does want to learn about chest locks and the etiquette of chest locks, if you go to Vanguard Tactics, Stephen does a really good interview on there with Neil Kerr from the ETC, the head referee from the ETC, and it's really good information about chest clocks, so go and check that out. I also met Stephen, really nice guy as well. So going on, we started off, he won the roll off, he decided to go first, obviously with the Gene Stealers, Swarmlord, you know, the advance and charge and moving twice with the Swarmlord. He got into my lines turn 1. I thought he was going to come up the repulsors and all of my stuff around there, but he went on my little flank, which I tried to put right far back, but he still got there. I had like 5 intercessors, an Invicta war suit, and a couple of attack bikes. So 1 unit went there, the other unit hid. I think I killed his Hive Tyrant. So he killed some intercessors and some war bikes, maybe. No, he killed the attack bikes. I think that was all he would have killed. Anyway, sort of it went on. I was taking stuff out. He was killing a bit here and there. The bikes dropped in turn 2. He didn't take out a repulsor. He didn't even do enough to bracket it with the demo charges. I then took out all of the bikes that turn. Took out, I think I deleted all the gene stealers as well. So then he had the Swarm Lord left, the Patriarch. I'd taken Kingslayer and the Patriarch, and he hid the Patriarch, which was the best move he could do. Basically, it went on. He was taking a few things out. He took my Librarian out. My Smash Captain died because it went in on the Swarm Lord. The Swarm Lord managed to tank it, and then I then survived the Swarm Lord back, but then on the second turn, he then managed to kill me. And then, yeah, basically we're just taking each other out. Oh, he had Hive Guard as well. I forgot to mention the Hive Guard on the list, and they were just obviously firing, but I kept my stuff out of range quite well, so you had to keep moving them and stuff. I then had one of my Invicta Warsuits dropped in, and I didn't make the charge in the first turn, but it stayed alive, and then I managed to get in the charge and wiped out the Hive Guard. And basically it ended up, he had the Patriarch left, I had 2 repulsors, the Carnon bike, the Invicta Warsuit, and the 2 eliminators, and I just killed everything apart from the Patriarch. Went to go into my charge phase, and my time ran out on the clock. So I mean, I wasn't as diligent with the clock as maybe as I could have been with, obviously Gene Stealer were doing a lot of stuff on your turn, and I wasn't flicking the clock back and forwards when he was like doing his attacks and pilings on my turn. So obviously he was doing a lot more stuff on my turn than I would have been doing on his turn in terms of combat. But that is the way it is. It was a learning curve, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that Daniel played very, very well, and he took the win by 1 point because I ran out, didn't get Kingslayer or any points on that Patriarch. I couldn't then do anything. He killed my Carnon bike, got Killmore, he won by a point, and yeah, that was basically it. So that was how the first game went. Very, very close game, really good matchup, and yeah, what could I do? I'll try and put photos behind as well of lists and stuff. I didn't get a photo of every list because my mind was just exploding, and I didn't get as many videos, like vlog videos as well. After that one with Neil, I didn't really make any more just because it is quite tiring playing that many games. It's 3 hours per game. The tournament itself was run really, really well. I'm definitely going back next year. It was a great tournament. Can't praise them enough. Emails went up before the event, was really, really good. Response time and everything like that, so can't fault them. The only thing I probably could fault with the venue is having more food vendors because the queues were huge, but that was a tiny thing really. I still managed to get some food on the first day, and then I went to, like, there's a cinema across the road, so I went to a cinema and got some food from there on the second day, so it wasn't tragic or anything. So lost my first game by a point. Went into the second game against Graham Marsden, I think. So he had 60 Plague Bearers, 3 Dara Dreadnoughts. He had a Contemptor Dreadnought with all Laz. He had Araman, Sorcerer, Poxbringer, Sloppity Piper, and Demon Prince. I think that was his list. So he went first, and I've never seen someone whiff so badly on their first turn. It was horrendous. So basically what he killed in his first turn was one eliminator. That was with all the psychic. He failed loads of psychic powers. He failed lots of shooting. He took a Warsuit down a few wounds, but nothing to what he should have done on his first turn. So this then allowed me to obviously counter. Done loads of damage to one of the Plague Bearer squads. I took out a Dreadnought, I think, turn 1. Or if I didn't, I took it down really, really low. And then, yeah, sort of just the game, I'd pretty much killed the plague bearers the next turn. He didn't do that much to me. Maybe took out a war suit. And yeah, that carried on in that sort of vein of him. You know, he was smiting my war suits, but he couldn't really deal with them that well. They were really holding him up and doing their job really as a really good distraction. And then the repulsors just ended up deleting dreadnoughts with volume of fire, and obviously the big guns, the executioners. And then I was holding more every turn because it was the 3 objectives, so I was holding more every turn, and killing more, I think, pretty much every turn, or roughly the same. So yeah, come out with a good win there, which I was very, very pleased about. So then I think it was about 30 something, 18. So then we went on to game 3, which was against Luke Vincent. Again, really nice guy. He had a lot of models, so if we quickly go through his list, he had 2 Weird Boys, 30 Gretchen, 3 Lobbers, big gun Lobbers, which he actually pretty much, I don't think he fired the whole game. I think he just forgot about them. Big mech with custom force field, big mech with shock attack gun. He had the relic one, which is naughty. Another 30 Gretchen, 3 units of 10, 15 looters, and then he had like 6 smasher guns. He had War Boss, who's his warlord. He had another Weird Boy, and then 3 units of 30 boys, and then he had 20 storm boys. Now Luke was really, really, really good with his movement. Really good. I was very impressed, and he wrapped and trapped stuff really, really well. So he got into a couple of war suits at the beginning, which I didn't mind too much because that's what they're there for, sort of holding them up. And then sort of once they died, I then was able to start deleting, like the storm boys died, and he was very good with his charges and his movement. He was getting the bonus objectives through like he must have got the bonus objective in like the first 3 rounds, but I managed to like just keep the repulsors with the line of sight blocking. I managed to just move them so they were just in line of like a couple of smasher guns, so I could take them 2 smasher guns out, and then every time he was with the relic shock attack gun, he would have to move, and then he'd be only hitting on 6s, and then he basically didn't do anything. I think he might have done like 4 or 5 damage with his shock attack gun the whole game. Yeah, it didn't really do anything, because he had to keep moving it. And then I ended up just moving forward, deleting a load of Gretchen, just to clear the screens really, and pick up Reaper. And yeah, he sort of couldn't really deal with the repulsors, and it was a bit of a turning point where he killed one of the units he charged when he came in from Deep Strike with one of the units of 30 boys, and then he was left out in the open, and then obviously just deleted that 30 boys pretty easily. Yeah, one unit I had to kill in combat with like a couple of units of intercessors, smash captain, librarian. They all just went in there and killed that. So yeah, it was a really, really good game, really interesting. I've got to say, like, first 3 opponents amazing as well. All of my opponents were great, like there wasn't any, but yeah, Luke was really nice, really nice guy. He was really good on the chess clock as well. Taught me a lot about the chess clock, like, you know, we kept swapping over, which was really, really good. He actually did run out of time in the end, but I think by that point it wouldn't have mattered overly if he had time still, because I was sort of quite convincingly had the upper hand, if you like. So yeah, we called it, and it was another good win, 30 to maybe 20 something or something like that. But he was very, like I said, very good with picking up the bonus objectives and played the Orks very, very well. So, you know, hat off to Luke, done really, really well. So that was my end of day 1. So I got off to the first game I was happy with, like, because it was close. It was a very, very close game. So I wasn't feeling like, oh no, I've just been trashed. Then to pick up another 2 wins after that, I was feeling really, really good. I was really happy that I got 2 wins. I was thinking, great, 2 wins, like my first, you know, this is my second ITC tournament, and the first big one, really, bigger than like an RTT. So was super happy with the first day. Went into the second day, woke up on the second day, pairings were up, look on, Drukhari. And I was thinking, oh dear. So if you don't know, Drukhari have very, very good firepower against Primaris. So their disintegrator cannons are strength 5, -3, 2 damage. And yeah, they're pretty rough for them. So I'll go through his list. He had 3 Razor Wings, 3 Ravagers, 2 Archons, 3 units of 5 Cabalites, a Raider. He had a Homunculus with the Vexator Mask. He had Urian Rakarth. He had 3 units of 2 Talos, all with Haywire, Macro Scalpels and all that jazz. And then he had 3 units of 5 racks. So it was a double battalion. Yeah, double battalion. So started off, he went first. So bearing in mind, in all of these games, I haven't won the roll off in any of them. So I've gone second every single time. So the war suits aren't really being used to the best of their ability, but they're still doing really, really good work. So I was really happy with the war suits throughout the whole tournament. I think 3 of them is really, really nice. I think if you're going to take war suits, you need a minimum of 2. I don't think 1 would work very well. I think minimum of 2, but 3, I've really, really enjoyed playing 3. So I hide up the war suits in one of the L-shaped ruins. Back table, so it's hammer and anvil. I back table the repulsors. So he has to sort of move up, and also I wanted to keep them out of range of the Haywire from the Talos, because obviously against vehicles is a killer. So then I had a couple of characters, screened them out, and then I had in the sort of either side, I had some more intercessors and the attack bikes, and that was how I set up. Oh, and then the eliminators up in a ruin. So he moved his Razor Wings up, moved his Ravagers up. The Talos sort of hid in the other L shape, so I sort of had war suits and Talos in both the L shapes. So it was sort of like a bit of a standoff, because he couldn't get enough movement to then be able to shoot me or really charge me. It would have been a long old charge. So the Ravagers moved up, so they're in range of like the repulsors and stuff like that. So the Razor Wings take out some attack bikes over this side. The intercessors live, and then I lose another unit of intercessors at screening, and then he put some wounds on the repulsor. I think he might have put 4 wounds on one of the repulsors, and that was basically his shooting for that turn. I then moved out the war suits. I moved up the 2. I might have kept the repulsors where they were pretty much. Might have nudged them up a little bit, and then I moved some intercessors out onto an objective, and so then I managed to take out, with a mixture of the war suits, the melter guns, the repulsors, I managed to take out a Ravager with one of the big guns. I took out 2 Razor Wings and took another one down to 3 wounds. This is all with like the flamers. The flamers were really rolling really hot, which was really nice. Yeah, and then obviously all the firepower from the Executioner, some melters from and bolt guns and stuff as well mixed in. And then I made a charge with the Warsuit into another Ravager and took like 6 wounds off it. So that was basically my first turn. He then moves up, takes out two Warsuits, kills 2 Warsuits, they go. I I think the other one survived that turn. Oh no, he then charged. Oh no, he did survive, yeah, because he couldn't hit that one. So the Razor Wing, a lot of the other stuff whiffed. They didn't really do much. I think he took out another bike, and he took out the intercessors, unit of intercessors and objective. So he was killing a lot of my small stuff, and he killed the Invicta Warsuits. I then had my last Warsuit moved up, flamed some stuff, shot some stuff, charged into Talos, and by this time I'd put a few wounds on the Talos and that sort of thing. I then carried on moving up the repulsors, just nudged them up a little bit so I could get some better line of sight. I think I then shot a load of stuff. Yeah, shot some more Ravagers. I killed another Ravager, I believe. Took another one down to quite low wounds. Killed some, maybe killed a Talos. And then I think that the Warsuit didn't die, it charged in, put some wounds on a Talos. And then on his turn, he killed it with Haywire. And he shot some other stuff at my repulsor and stuff, didn't really do anything. But when he killed it, it exploded, and everything within 6 inches. That's one thing about these Warsuits. If they explode, they are amazing. So it exploded 6 mortal wounds, D6 mortal wounds for everything in 6 inches. And killed his homunculus with a Vexator Mask outright. Put wounds on pretty much, I only put 1 wound on Urian Rakarth. Like, took a couple of Talos out with it. It was brilliant for me. I took one of mine Eliminators out as well, but I lived with that for the amount of damage I'd done to the Talos and stuff. So then, yeah, he'd sort of, like I say, taken out some, I think he took out attack bike as well that turn. I then moved the repulsors up, and I moved the Librarian and the Smash Captain up. And then I was going to null zone, and if the null zone had gone off, basically 2 units of Talos and Urian Rakarth wouldn't have had a invuln save, and then I would have just deleted them. With the amount of firepower I had, they would have died 100%. Well, I say 100%, 99%, because you can never say 100% with dice. But yeah, and then so I completely forgot my psychic phase. Absolutely rookie mistake. I'm so used to, I think, playing with armies that don't have psych, I just keep forgetting the psychic phase. So Richard Foster, who I was playing, was a really good guy. I had a really good chat with him afterwards as well. Really, really nice bloke. He actually said you can go back if you want and do the psychic phase, which is massively generous, but I did refuse, because I said the thing is, this psychic power, if it goes off, it will change the game. I said, and I'd already forgot it, so it's too big, I feel, for me to go back and change it, to redo it. I said, because I just feel like that's it's too big a game-changing power, because, you know, to take an invuln off of a Homunculus Coven is huge. That's one of the reasons I brought it, but it's huge. So I didn't, and we played on, and my Smash Captain killed some stuff, another Talos. He then killed my Smash Captain and my Librarian, and then the next turn I basically just killed everything, apart from 2 units of racks which were at the back that it had engineers on. They'd done their job, they'd got engineers, and then I managed to then get some more points from taking objectives and the bonus objective and that sort of thing. Really, really good game. Again, ended up about 30 something to 20 something. Like, you know, I wasn't winning these games by like huge margins, but well enough. So that was really good. Coming day 2, nice win. Had a really good chat with Richard afterwards about Drukhari, and like we were saying, we're hoping that they're not going to get Disintegrators nerfed now that Space Marines have become so good. I don't think Disintegrators need to be nerfed. I do think Dark Lances need to come down to the same points, if not cheaper, than Disintegrators, because I think it's stupid to have Dark Lances that expensive, especially when you've got so many Knights and Repulsors and T8 vehicles about. I think that they need to be cheaper, and you know, that's the bottom line really. And we were talking about hopefully they get some characters and whatnot, like a Dracon or Vect or something. Or he was saying about like maybe some mercenary characters like Mandrake, a Mandrake character or something like that, which would be really cool. But anyway, enough of the ramblings. Let's get on with the last game. So I was playing a guy called Michel Jacobs. He was from the Netherlands. He was Dutch, and so was actually my first opponent, Daniel van der Berg. You probably realise from the surname. But yeah, so Michel had an orc list. It was a bit of a different orc list actually. Let's see if I can get it up. So yeah, it's he didn't have like boys, many like in the way of like boys. So he had big mech with shock attack gun, again the relic one, nasty. He had big mech with the custom force field. He had 3 units of 10 Gretchen, a battle wagon, a Gorkanaut. He had a weird boy, a war boss, and then another 3 units of 10 Gretchen, 2 custom booster blasters, 2 mega scrap jets, and then he had 4 flash kits. No, sorry, he had unit 5 flash kits, unit 6 flash kits, and 15 looters. So I hadn't really come up against flash kits before. That was one of the only units that surprised me, if you like, that I didn't really know too much about. But they're pretty good. Strength 6, -2, 2 damage, and then if you roll a 6 after they've shot, they shoot again. And then they can shoot again, and then you can roll a 6 after they've shot again, and if they roll a 6, they shoot again. Crazy, like it's very orky, like, you know, the chances of it happening are 1 in 6, but it's still pretty good. And they were decent, like 2 wounds each, like good units, I thought. They dished out a lot of that, and also against, you know, Primaris Marines, perfect, 2 damage, -2, like great. So I won the roll off the first time in the whole tournament that I won the roll off. I ended up deciding to go first. I was a bit umming and ahhing, and I was like, oh, maybe you, and I was like, oh, actually, no, yeah, and then I was like, no, actually, I'm going to go first. So, because the reason I went first is because I thought I haven't done it yet. Well, I was thinking about going second because I thought, well, I've been doing quite well going second. Should I just stay going second? And I thought, no, with this deployment, because it was Dawn of War, so obviously along the long table edge, it's only a 12-inch deployment zone. With the Invicta war suits 9 inches away, move 10, you're right up on their deployment zone. Then you can be flaming, shooting, charging, like, so it was a no-brainer really. So went first. 3 Invicta war suits out, ready. Eliminators in the ruins again, where I usually put them in the L shape, just to shoot stuff I need to. It's sort of central on the board, 36-inch range. I'm hitting most of the board. He hid pretty well. He used just Gretchen screens, hid the looters behind the hill, hid the scrap jets and stuff, and battle wagon with all the characters and the all of the flash kits in. I managed to like pretty much like the repulsors couldn't really see much because obviously he counter deployed me. So I killed all of the Gretchen that were screening. He had 2 more units in 2 L shape, 2 little ruins. I then made a charge on both of the scrap, a couple of the sort of scrap jets or whatever they were. I killed one, took the other one down to like 3 wounds. Oh no, I took it down, I only done 3 wounds on it, so it's down to about 6 wounds or whatever. And then I failed the charge on the looters. It was like a 10-inch charge or something, so I failed that charge. And yeah, that was it was just basically clearing screens and getting at what I could, whilst keeping my main bulk of my army out of like line of sight as much as I could from all of his shooting units. He then took out 2 of my war suits, but didn't take out the 3rd one, which was in combat, that he'd sort of fallen back from. He then jumped in to hit him, still didn't take him out, and then I forgot to withdraw him out of combat because I wanted to flame and stuff like that, but I forgot, and then he whiffed because he was hitting on 5, so he didn't really do anything. And then unfortunately he didn't blow up, but that was in the 2nd turn, on my turn. So yeah, so when all of the on his turn, the like flash kits jumped out, everything jumped out of the battle wagon because it was in combat, and then they all basically shot everything, and the battle wagon then dropped out of combat afterwards. They then shot everything. I think I lost a few intercessors, but not all of them. I lost an attack bike. He charged the attack bikes, 2 attack bikes. I lost one of them. One of his scrap jets died to Overwatch from the other 2 attack bikes. One of the melters hit and he was in melter range, rolled a 5 or 6 and he didn't have that many wounds left, so he died. Then my turn 2, I jumped over the librarian and the smash captain to deal with the flash kits because they were proving a bit of a problem. So they jumped over to deal with them. The bikes moved up, the repulsors moved over. I took out the other 2 scrap jetty things, whatever they're called, custom booster blasters, or so I took them out. Took out some more Gretchen, and then he had 4 flash kits left after that. He still had his looters, well, a few of them. I think I killed a couple, and then he had his battle wagon and obviously all the characters and the weird boy. Well, not the weird boy jumped the flash kits out of combat, and then he ended up shooting my bike, which died. Oh, and the Gorkanaut dropped in. That was it. The Gorkanaut dropped in because he put it in deep strike. That then attacked that shot at the. I actually shot 18 shots at my intercessor, and I think the intercessor survived. Or did he die? I can't remember. I think I might have re-rolled and he might have survived, but he whiffed quite badly. And then he charged. He made the charge because he used the 3d6 on my repulsor, and he whiffed badly on my repulsor. I think he only done 4 wounds. So obviously, I only killed my smash captain with loads of looter shots. So then I dropped out, killed with the repulsor, killed the Gorkanaut. Don't think I killed anything else with the repulsors. The librarian moved up, killed his weird boy, killed the rest of the one of my repulsors could see through, killed a few more flash kits, and then I finished the rest. Finished the flash kits off, charged the weird boy, killed the weird boy. Librarian died next turn, obviously. And then I'd moved the attack bikes round to then get in combat with the looters, which I did, which tied them up for a little bit. And then basically it sort of went on like that. I was getting hold more, kill more most turns, for the first few turns especially. Ended up that I sort of outscored him, and at the end he had some looters left, and a war boss, and one Gretchen, which he got used to get the Gretchen to get ground control. So I won that one 30-20, something like that. So it was a good game, but yeah, I still had a repulsor left with the Khan and like 5 intercessors. So the repulsor probably would have then next turn, if there had been a next turn, just absolutely shot everything at the looters and killed the looters. And then he would have had a war boss. And I would have killed the Gretchen with the eliminators left as well, 3 eliminators. So I would have killed the eliminators, and then the war boss would have then, So yeah, really, really good. Really good 2 days. I managed obviously with tournaments like anything, it's all about matchups. So we'll go in to talk about, just quickly run through the other guys who I went with. So let's talk about Lee and Isaac first. So Isaac took Necrons, really strong Necron list, and Lee had a sort of Venom spam with sort of Ravagers and a few Flyers. Well, Isaac had 3 Eldar Flyer lists on the first day, which is his direct hard counter, and didn't win any of those. The second day he played Guard, and I can't remember what else he played, but something else, and he just absolutely annihilated both of them, nearly max points on both games. Shows you just how much facing the wrong list, how much it can hurt. The same with Lee. Unfortunately, Lee went up against Knights over and over and over again. I think he had Tau in his first game, which he lost only by a point, and then he just had knights, which his list just found really hard to deal with. He just didn't have the anti-tank to deal with it. And then so we had Chris, who was playing Orks. He done really well. He went 3-2 over the weekend, and he won best painted in the whole tournament, which was really cool. Well, hopefully I'll try and get a picture of his army. And then Tom Wybrow, he was running like Mortarion, Magnus, Shalaxi Hellbane, Selesky, and then some like Brimstones and Araman and a couple of Sorcerers. And he had a really good start. Like first one really convincing win. Second opponent was like Admech. He tabled him turn 1. The guy conceded after the battle round 1. He was just like, I've got nothing left. There's no point. And then he then lost his third game. He was up on table 10, so he was right up there with the big guns, and he ended up losing that one. Then he lost his one on the morning against Ultramarines and Guard. He failed a 4-inch charge with 2 rerolls with Magnus. Otherwise it could have been a different game. But you know, it's a dice game, these things happen. And then he won his last game, again, pretty convincingly. And then Tom Coppin, he had 2 wins and 3 losses with a pure guard list or Militarum list. Ollie went 3-2, so he won 3 and lost 2 with his Chaos Knights and Lord Discordance list, which it was really cool list. Phil again lost his first game the same as I did, then won his next 3, and then he lost his last game. He was running Guard and Blood Angels. And then Neil, who we've seen at the beginning, Neil did he did well. He won the first 2. I think he lost the third game on the first day. Then he won the first game on the second day, and then lost his last game. But both of his losses were really close, so he done really well. He ended up finishing like 80 something, so really good for him. You know, out of 360 odd people, is pretty good. And I think I've covered everyone else. And then I came 29th, so top 30, which I'm really pleased with. Especially with that list, I was really happy with it. Like I said, you know, sometimes it comes down to luck of what you're playing and what you get drawn up against, but you can only play what gets put in front of you. So yeah, was mega chuffed. I want to say well done to Anthony Chu, who won the whole tournament with I think he had 8 Eldar Flyers, 3 Ravagers, 2 of them Craftworld support weapons that can shoot out line of sight, and a Night Spinner which can shoot out line of sight. So really tough list. You know, I wouldn't have given myself much hope against that, to be honest. So yeah, he done really well. So yeah, I met also Reese Robbins from Frontline Gaming, who sort of created the ITC. Really nice guy. He was actually staying in the same hotel, and managed to have a chat with him at breakfast. Really good guy, and yeah, just really nice to speak to someone obviously that's that involved in the hobby and knows as much as he does. So yeah, that was my experience of the London Grand Tournament. I highly recommend it to anyone that wants to play competitive Warhammer 40k. You know, it's chess clocks, it's all that stuff, but it is so much fun. Like I said, definitely be going back next year. So that is all from me. I'm mega happy with my top 30 finish, and yeah, I hope to be doing more tournaments, and hopefully I can keep this this sort of run up and keep doing well in tournaments. So thanks for watching. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks, bye.